Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin, and this is...
You know it, El Toro.
My husband, Brian. And we're here for another edition of Poor Decisions with Brian.
All decisions with Brian are poor decisions. That's not really the helpful part of that title.
Well, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we thought we would bring back an oldie but a goodie. You thought you wouldn't see it again. You were wrong.
I hoped I wouldn't see it again.
I will not let this game go to waste. So, one of, was it maybe our second or third? I don't know. Early on in the Poor Decisions, I had got this from Amazon. It was on sale. It's an award-winning game, Word Teasers, conversation starters for the whole family. Talk, laugh, learn. Funny sayings. Let's see what it brings up.
Right.
So, if I recall, in this one, you read the card and then you're supposed to guess the origins.
I think that was it, of the phrase. Like where'd the phrase come from?
Oh, it doesn't even fit in itself.
Quality.
I'll put it right there. Okay. So, shall we begin?
Oh, you gonna read one to me?
Sure.
I'm gonna nail it.
Let's go. Okay. Just getting a feel for how the cards are connected. Okay. When it comes to doing something new and different, who among your friends is most likely to be a wet blanket? That's right. It was a question, and then we...
You had to say where
what you thought
the
wet
concept
blanket meant, and
came from. A wet blanket is someone who might say no to the plan and suggest doing things you've done before.
Okay. Where do you think it comes from? I guess I haven't actually read it.
Oh, the origin. You know, I'll guess it's a reference to putting out fire. And that a wet blanket would be used to smother a fire.
Indeed, that was my thought as well. So the meaning, someone who is not much fun or spoils other people's fun. Origin.
See, I don't think that's what wet blanket means.
That's what I thought it meant.
See, I don't think a wet blanket's a spoiler of fun. I think that's too negative. When I think of wet blanket, I think of hey, let's all go to the movies. No, let's stay in tonight and do something else. Like a wet blanket isn't a ruiner of fun. They just kind of tone down a new adventure.
Okay. The origin, in the 19th century, Native Americans reportedly would put out their campfire by dipping a blanket into a river and throwing it over the fire, bringing an end to the evening.
Okay.
I mean, fire related, I was going to guess, rather than Native American, some Scottish or something, but the essence of throwing something on the fire, like a wet blanket, literally,
to smother.
Camping out the fire, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. As a rule of thumb, are you better at sports or schoolwork?
Schoolwork. Come on, everyone knows that. So I guess I'm supposed to ask or answer what rule of thumb means. I mean, it's like a guide, like a standard.
And where is its origin?
I'm guessing there was some sort of standards primer or book of principles or something that was by Mr. Thumb, the schoolmaster or something at some point.
Yeah, I peeked and I actually knew this answer, and I'm sorry, it's very horrible. It's that a man could beat his wife with a stick no bigger than his thumb.
Oh, well.
The rule of thumb.
There you go.
Yeah. Welcome to Fun Parts of History. Native Americans in the 1800s and beating your spouse. More decisions with Brian. Goodness.
Well, let's see what else this box of fun has.
Here comes the editing software.
Let's see. Oh, is there ever a good reason to give someone the cold shoulder? If so, why?
Because they're trying to make you name the rule of thumb. The cold shoulder is like turning someone out, right? It's turning away from them, like metaphysically, not literally, to exclude them from the group. That's cold shoulder. Where does it come from? Okay, this is just a guess. I'm gonna guess it's sort of a 1800s Englishy phrase again, and it was because someone was cold and pulled on their cloak, and their shoulder, they were kind of doing this and turning away as they pull on their cloak or their jacket.
Well, meaning to snub, to act unfriendly or cold to someone.
Okay.
There we go. Origin, the expression comes from the custom of serving a hot meal of roast meat to guests who were welcomed, but serving a cold shoulder of sheep or mutton to unwelcome guests.
Boy, I guess you know where you stand at that dinner party, huh?
Right. Oh, here I have the roast of a lamb to bring.
Is there some roast for me?
No, you get this cold mutton.
Am I supposed to draw from like one side?
Don't draw from this side because those are the cards you've already done.
Show how you might go berserk when your favorite team wins the tournament.
Ah!
Tell us about your love of sports ball, honey.
I don't. I will tell you the story of when Brian was watching a lot of English Premier League soccer, and I remembered I love underdog teams. So I was like, I'm going to root for Leicester. Leicester seems good. They seem like they need some fans. And Brian said, oh, no. You don't want to root for somebody who's just going to get relegated next year. So you should pick somebody else. So I picked
Newcastle United.
Mm-hmm.
Who was promptly relegated.
And Leicester won.
Yeah, the year Leicester won the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then did continue to do well for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, Leicester still does well. But Newcastle's doing good this year, though.
I wouldn't know. I stopped watching.
Do you know where the phrase go berserk comes from?
I'm assuming it has something to do with, like, Romans fighting the Gauls or something, and they were berserker warriors.
Yeah, you're on the right track. The berserkers were Vikings.
Vikings.
But, people from the Nord there, eh?
Oliver. All right, it's my turn.
It's your turn to read.
I was taken aback by the dog.
Naughty dog. We can use the dog's real names, I guess, on this.
Who in your family is most likely to let the cat out of the bag
Well,
about a surprise birthday party?
Well, in our family, it's one of the children because they can't keep a secret for anything. Who's most likely?
So cute. After I took them shopping for Brian's Christmas presents, they came back and, Papa, guess what we got? Brian was just like, but yeah, it would be one of the kiddos.
Yeah, who's most likely to literally let the cat out? That's me, because I don't guard the door very well, and the little sucker's tricksy. He'll run out on you.
He does.
Let the cat out of the bag. Oh man, I am so worried about the origin of this phrase.
Yeah, me too.
Does this come by chance from the practice of putting a cat in a bag and throwing it in a river to kill it and letting the cat out?
Nope, don't worry.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, but we've already said the meeting to reveal a secret, often unintentionally.
Yeah.
Origin years ago at European street markets, when a shopper bought a live chicken, the vendor would put it in a bag. But sometimes a dishonest vendor would secretly put a cat in the bag. The shopper would discover the secret only after letting the cat out of the bag at home. He said, I don't have a chicken, all I have is a cat. I guess the cat ran off, so you didn't even have the cat.
How dumb were people back then?
Yeah, I'm assuming if a cat was in a bag.
Well, when there's no clean drinking water and you drink beer all day long when you're 8, I guess this is what happens.
Oh,
it's
poor
true.
No, I didn't. I wasn't saying that.
Is it my turn to read? I apologize.
It is.
What do you think would be a bigger feather? Like, you get all sports ones. What would be a bigger feather in your cap? Hitting a home run or getting an A on the next test?
Well, to me, it would be, I guess I would say biggest feather in my hat would be getting a home run because everyone expects me to get the A on the test.
Oh!
And they'd be like, whoa, whatever. But they'd be like, whoa.
She just hit a home run.
Something really, really out there. So, yeah.
Can I tell you what my favorite sports moment of all time?
Go for it.
Was when Randy Johnson hit the bird with a baseball.
That sounds awful.
You've not seen that video?
I don't want to see that video.
Well, you can guess what happens.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have been purely an act of chance.
Oh,
he didn't know the bird was there.
Brilliant one. He was actually really upset by it.
I would understand.
Yeah, but like fastball, 100 miles an hour, bird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where do you think a feather in your cap comes from? Speaking of birds.
I'm going to say, again, I'm going to go to the military. But here I'm going to say it's around
You're so close.
France or something. No? I'm going to say it's not the military, but
Getting colder.
it is the military. But it was not in France. It was in South America. It was in North America. And, is this Indians?
Yes. I'll be honest. Some of this stuff, I respect it may well be true, but I would, today look to somebody from, that community to tell me if it's true or not versus, some sort of fictionalized 1950s sort of understanding.
When American Indians performed bravely in battle, they would add a feather to their headdress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I assume feathers get added for a reason. Maybe
That's
it's
true.
I don't know.
That's very true. I would have no feathers. I would be like Brian, no feathers.
In battles.
That's very true.
We'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Oh. No.
Not a battler. Shall we move on?
Yes, we'll move on.
Would you say you passed the last big test by the skin of your teeth or with flying colors? So there are two sayings in bold: by the skin of your teeth and with flying colors.
Wow.
So yeah, we have both of them.
The last test I took. What would have been the last test I took?
I'm trying to think. Is it,
my driver's license exam?
Your driver's license exam?
Yeah, I think I took a written exam at some point. Just renew your license over and over.
Yeah, don't you just go in and renew your license? You say, hey, it's expired, and they take your picture?
Well, we do the eye exam and stuff.
Oh, I assume they meant written exam or school exam of some sort.
That's
fair.
fair.
I mean, I
so I'm trying to think if there's anything since the bar exam, any test I've taken since then.
Yeah, so I don't think you have any extra certifications or anything. So yeah.
No field sobriety exams here. Not my cup of tea. Skin of your teeth and flying colors. Those are actually kind of tough. We all know what they mean, right? Mm-hmm. Skin of your teeth, barely made it. Flying colors, well over it.
Skin of your teeth, just barely winning by or succeeding by a narrow margin.
Yeah.
And with flying colors, succeed easily.
The skin of your teeth. I'm gonna guess that it involves separating flesh from hide using your teeth.
Oh dear Lord. Do you ever feel like there's a very thin film on your teeth before you brush them? This film is like a skin on your teeth. I mean, it doesn't really explain the origin of the thing. That's just what the card said. So I find it hard to believe that is the origin of that.
We're
saying.
Googling that one. That's
But flying colors.
Is this
actually knew without
the King's Standard or something like that? You'd fly the colors?
In a way, yeah.
What's the answer?
Pirate ships. Or not pirate ships. Ships. Ships passing each other by sea fly their colors. So you know.
Oh, sure. Until it's black that comes up.
Yeah, I mean, would fly their colors if they wanted to be identified.
Sure.
Is what it says.
Sure.
Until the pirate flag goes up.
Okay, I'll do one last one for you, honey.
Okie dokie.
Okay. At what time at night do you usually hit the hay?
What time did we say we were going to hit the hay? Which time do we actually hit the hay?
And what time is old lady bedtime?
Well, old lady bedtime is 8:30 p.m.
That's right. So long as you go to sleep after old lady bedtime, you're not an old lady, and therefore it's totally fine.
Yeah.
8:37.
Enacted that rule. Where anytime after old lady bedtime, you are not judged for going to bed. We have said amongst ourselves that we want to try to get to bed earlier, and therefore we have tried to set our bedtime at 10:30. More often, we do not go to bed until 11:30 or midnight.
Yeah. Except on New Year's Eve, when I may have fallen asleep at 9:15 and heard my wife at 9:30 go, "Oh, you're already asleep?" Yeah, it's a long day. Where do you think it comes from?
Well, surely it comes from when the mattresses were stuffed with hay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Indeed. In the early 1900s, mattresses were often filled with hay.
I like how it was like the early 1900s. Like, what were mattresses filled with before then, if mattresses even existed?
Right. I mean, I'm assuming
Peas?
only one pea far beneath. No, I mean, like, you hear about down filling and, I mean, hay, straw.
Serfs. Same thing.
Reeds. You often, like in fantasy books, they're always like, they rolled their reed mat. That's got to come from somewhere, right?
It's a fantasy book.
Well, I mean, fantasy comes...
It's from reality. I understand.
Everything has some basis from somewhere.
That's exactly right. Well, thank you for joining us for another decision.
Well, I think Oliver's making a poor decision and chewing on the door right now.
Yeah.
Poor body.
Thanks for doing this. Thanks. Do you want to try this one?
Sure. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Poor Decisions with Brian. I hope we gave you a couple of giggles and maybe some questionable knowledge. I don't know how much I trust. I don't even know what company made this.
How much do you trust a game that the box doesn't fit inside the box?
Elm Education Marketing LLC.
ELM?
ELM. Elm, like the tree. Elm Education. They're claiming they're educational.
Does it say where they're located?
Yeah, I saw it. California.
Manhattan Beach.
Manhattan Beach, California.
Yeah. Printed in China.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It's a fun thing. Hopefully it gives you some giggles. Helps you pass the time.
What's pass the time mean?
Well, in the 1900s, they put their clock on a plate.
What?
Well, that's how some of those cards go. They don't really explain it.
Along with a cold shoulder of mutton.
Okay, sorry. Bye-bye. We'll see you later.